All righty. Good morning, everybody. It's 10 o'clock, so we're going to get going. Hope everyone's having a good day. It's sunny out there and all that good stuff. Want to do a quick market watch because it's definitely changing out there. The big time is you got to look at this week. If I look at the last week, it's been the highest pendings week we've had. 2,273 pendings in the multiple, only 1,041 new listings. Only 1,041 new listings in the multiple. 2 weeks ago, you would have had about 1,200 listings taken, new listings. 2 weeks ago, we had 1,700 pendings. This week, we have 2,273. So you're picking up over 500 pendings, but your listings are down by like almost 200 this week. And so it just shows you your buyers are out there. In other words, if you're looking at May, what I would be doing, you're in May right now. Friday's May 1st. I'd be clear on my sales, my listings sold goal and plan, my marketing plan, and everything else for May because it's go time. You're in the spring market and it's go time, and I would just get things moving along. And we know there's a lot of first-time buyers. We know we have multiple offers on first-time buyers. The new thing to the streets right now is new homes. They're back open and building. There's, of course, going to be a shortage of new homes. Some people are going to be attracted to new homes because nobody's lived there, right? So the virus isn't there. So you have to understand some people will be looking for bigger homes, smaller homes, second offices, different school district, all the normal things we usually go through. Again, what you have to understand is you got 2,273 pending last week. We haven't had that kind of number in weeks before the virus. So it is definitely the spring market, and it's alive and well, and it's going. We do have to be sensitive, of course, to where buyers are, our clients are, and serve them where they are, okay? And we've been saying we want to serve them, not sell them. I understand that one. But also, you got to understand, you also have to let them know that activity is happening. See, some of us maybe have gone too far to the serve side, and we're not telling them that things are going on that we can work. And, you know, like when I talk to my friends, or I have some virtual happy hours with some of my friends, not real estate, they don't realize we can work, and they don't realize how many deals are happening. They're shocked that we have multiple offers and transactions happening. So whether you should have a very consistent marketing plan for May and June, unless there's a virus hiccup, then we'll tweak it. But right now, I'm spending money. I'm spending money right now, and we put letters out there that will help you, that we can be safety-wise, private showing-wise, all that stuff-wise. Your lenders are not paying for events this year anytime soon, so I would definitely have them step up and pay for some postcards, some just sold, something of that nature. I definitely get my lender involved because they're making money. They got refinances going on. They got purchases going on. You're their long-term client. They're going to save money on events. So this is go time. This is spring market. It's go time. And I just want to make sure that everybody's teed in because these numbers don't lie. When you see 2,273 pending last week and only 1,000 listings, boy, you're going to have a housing listing shortage big time. And we're already seeing it. We're already seeing it big time. And so I'm going to get in with Jon Bye. So Jon, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So you've been with us about 16 to 17 years.
Yep.
And I remember when you started 16, 17 years ago, you can tell us a little bit about it. You were an assistant.
Yes.
And then I remember you coming to my big conference room at Kent, the old Kent office, in jeans and a t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
But tell us about your assistant days and kind of just bring us up to speed on your boom, more stable career.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey, obviously, over the last 16 or 17 years. I wish I could remember what my official start date was, but I can't remember for whatever reason. But there's a lot that happens in our careers over time. And the one thing that's great is over time, and going through some challenging times, this has been much easier than it was 08, 09. Much more challenging during that time. But just career-wise, kind of snapshot, I've been with the company now 16 or 17 years. My first couple of years, I worked for another agent, went out on my own, was on my own for about 8 years or so before I started building the rockstar team that I have now. But that's been in motion for about 7 years, trying to do that. So, and figuring it out all along the way, because, it's much easier when it's just one person you have, right? For the most part, it's easier. I think that there's still a lot of challenges that are involved when it's just you on your own. I'm much more like working in the team environment than the solo environment because it makes me work a heck of a lot harder. But right now I learned a lot in 08, 09 that has helped me now become much more stable in our approach right now. So, because I know that we're going to get out of this, and it's just a matter of time. And, you know, it's just ultimately boils down to what we're doing on a consistent basis daily right now.
So when you started out, like you said, you were an assistant, then you got going, then you and Josh all shared an office for a while, went through, you know, a lot of times, like we said many times, everybody, is you got to go through it to learn it.
Yeah.
So then you were going, rocking and rolling. Then 2008, 9, 10, you kind of lost everything. And you moved in with Josh for a while, slept on his couch or an extra bedroom or something.
Yeah.
So what'd you learn from that whole experience of learning, losing everything, resetting and going and growing again and believing in yourself?
Well, a lot of it, you know, I think when we first started in this business, there's like glimmers of success. And when it was really the first time that I'd ever seen any type of success in anything that I was doing, you know, always working for somebody else, and now, you know, forging your own path, and then, you know, people actually trusting you, and, you know, being able to help people and make some money. But what I found was that I just ended up spending way more than I was making. You know, there's always, you know, there's somewhat this field of dreams outlook that, you know, if I build it, it will come type thing. And yes, that's true. But the one thing knowing now is that it takes way longer than we expect. So I think you get shots in the arm throughout our careers, but I think the biggest part is making sure that you're not over leveraging yourself. Right now, I would agree. I think that getting out and doing things when other people are not doing those, if they cost you money and you have the means to do that, then go for it. But if you don't have the means, like, you need to figure out how to be more strategic in your dollars that are spent right now. Because if you don't have a big pool of revenue, like, you don't want to just start, you know, dropping even, like, it's great, like what Bear has to offer with like our just listed, just sold and things like that. But if you're dropping like hundreds of dollars all the time over and over and over again, kind of keeping your fingers crossed that that's going to be how you're going to generate your business, there's definitely a lot more better strategies that we'll get into today on what probably makes more sense than that.
So why don't you take us through a day in the life of Jon Bye during this stay-at-home time? Take us from the day, what you do for mindset, your schedule, kind of give us an idea of the day in the life of Jon Bye.
Yeah. So right now, you know, for myself personally, not a ton has changed. I've tried to keep it as much as is consistent with the things that I can control. So, you know, it's getting up every morning, sticking to the routine, you know, working out, putting a suit on every day. You know, I think the biggest thing right now is that everybody's at home and they're really relaxed. And you know, the biggest thing for me is it's like, get dressed up and go to work, even if it's only for half the day, and you lock yourself in your office and you go back out, whatever that looks like. But for me, it's getting up, it's making it happen, it's working out, it's coming to the office at the same time, having the team meetings every single day still. Obviously, I'd love to be able to do them here at the office, but that's not how we're operating right now. So we jump on a conference call, you know, get to see everybody's face, and we go over our to-dos for the day, right? It's, you know, we got to keep everybody accountable, including myself. So, you know, what are our action items for the day? You know, how we're looking for the week, and setting our 2-week goals and checking in on those periodically. So it's in office, team meeting, calling, right? Like, the biggest thing right now is you got to be doing your theme day calls. Like, you have more time now to get your calls done than you've ever had in the past. Your drive time's down. Your face-to-face appointments are on platforms like this, but you don't have to drive to get there. You're not doing any lunch appointments. You're not going to any happy hour events, at least in person. So everybody's freed up at least 30% more of their day with time that you can, you know, transfer from the red time to the green time, which we look at all the time. So it's like, all right, I can for sure get in an extra hour worth of calls every single day because of just what's going on. So, you know, I'm calling for 2 hours a day, and, you know, then going out and either touring or, you know, going on appointments, you know, with the distancing and stuff like that. Each scenario is very different, you know, but, you know, following the guidelines. So
tell us a little bit about your theme days, and then what kind of conversations are you having with your database?
So I'll jump into that. So our theme days are Mondays, we call our VIPs. Tuesdays are our current clients. Wednesdays, leads. Thursdays, our database, and then Fridays are catch up from the rest of the week, and then new business professionals. So I'll just kind of touch on each one of those. So the VIP conversations right now these are other business business owners that we network with and work with consistently, you know, can range from all different arenas in life and fields. So a lot of those are, for me, it's the most fun and easy conversation because I feel like these are the people that are really in the same boat as we are, you know, smaller companies and, you know, smaller teams and, you know, kind of built off of a more, you know, individual platform, not usually a real big company. So it's like, how are you doing? You know, a lot of it's just checking in and making sure that, you know, people are staying positive and, you know, if there's ways that we can help out and letting them know about what's going on in the market because they're, you know, they're influencers and networkers and, you know, they have still a lot of contact with people out there right now. So it's important for us in our industry to be able to relay to anybody that we possibly can that stuff is still happening right now. And that's going to be the very best group of people. Then if there's things that come up during those conversations that we can help out with, you know, we let them know that we're available on our Tuesday update calls. So all of our current clients, that's everybody that's under contract, all of our active listings and our clients that are currently shopping. You know, that's just, again, relaying, you know, what's been going on the last couple of weeks. You know, either if they're active on the market, we're looking at our trends, you know, what's going on, are we getting more activity, less activity, what's going on in the neighborhood. Because right now, more than ever, especially your clients that are on market, yes, some are selling super, super fast. And that's fantastic. But I feel like there's a hot and a cold thing that's going on. Either you're all about it or it's taking a little bit more time. So especially the ones that are taking more time, like communication is key. Probably even more than once a week in most cases, but at minimum, you need to be reaching out, letting them know what's going on in the market, calming any potential fears, relaying that usually if you're still on market right now, there is a strategy behind that. It was, hey, I want to hang out and wait for that right person and we don't have to sell like tomorrow, we have some time. And right now for that client, it's going to take a bit more time than we saw before. So it's reminding them, hey, this was a part of the plan. Like you don't need to worry. Like this is what we talked about from the beginning. So, and us as agents too, not freaking out. I think a lot of the times, like we get so used to everything flying off the shelf and all that, you know, it's 2 weeks on market and we're like frustrated, you know, but you help set those goals with that client. So you need to continue to sit next to them on this journey. So, and then leads, you know, I think there were some questions too before, like how much should I be calling people that have reached out, things like that. There's a few key things you should be doing, digging deep in your old lead trackers. So anybody that's ever raised their hand at any point in time that you got a name and number for, you should be calling. But also too, you don't want to be like blowing them up. There was some concerns on a pre-question that we had is like how many times appropriate to call people. You know, I don't want to feel like I'm just like nagging people all the time. So I'm going to tell you the one secret, like everybody should be writing this down. There's 78 people. So everybody get their pen out. And if you don't take anything else, but this one thing, this is what you need to remember, lead follow-up. This is the best thing that always works. If you're leaving a voice message and you can't get somebody or a text message, this is what you say. Like, hey, this is John. Sol, I've reached out to you a couple times. I haven't heard from you. At this point in time, I think I might really be bugging you. And I want to make sure that that's not what I'm doing. So if you can give me a quick shout, like give me a call, give me a text, just let me know what's going on. Because I'm going to keep reaching out until I hear from you. I want to make sure that I'm doing a good job. So let me know. I look forward to talking to you soon. And a lot of the times you get two things. Either one, yes, like quit calling me, like I'm done, like I moved on. And for me, I'm going for green or red. Like if you found a different direction, that's totally fine. But I don't want to go like spinning my wheels over here thinking that something might be able to take place. Or on the other end, you get, oh, my bad. Like, you know, obviously things are going crazy right now. The world's bananas, this, that, and the other. Yeah, we're still thinking about it, but we're waiting a while. Then from there, it's permission follow-up. It's, hey, is it okay if I give you a call and check in 2 weeks? Get them to say yes, because that's the biggest thing is the fear from myself and for my team members, and I'm sure for a lot of us, is that we don't want to come off like we're being a jerk, and we're just here like we're trying to you don't want to get like stinky commission breath, because that's not what we're here for. We want to do a good job, but everybody sees things differently. So you just want to make sure to respect their scenario. So that's like the magic pill. So I hope everybody wrote that down. That's a really great one that we've used over the years.
So if I left that text,
mm-hmm.
and I don't hear back from them, do you do that again, or do you leave it alone, or do you, in 2 weeks do you do the same thing, or what?
Yeah, I think that you can keep. It depends. I would continue to do that. Like it just shifts into that. I don't want to keep bugging you and you just reiterate like the same thing. Like, hey, I don't want to keep calling you if you don't need my help, but I'm going to keep calling you until you tell me what to do.
Okay, cool. So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
But this has been going, how long have we been home? 6 weeks? I forgot how long this has been going. Okay, yeah. So we started out, as we should have as an industry, really coming from a place of service. How are you? Caring and support, which we still want to continue to do. But what's happened on the other side of the coin, I'm seeing, is we're coming from such a supportive caring role. We're not telling that business is happening, and I'm here if you want to buy or sell, or somebody else does. So how do your conversations go? You're coming from care and support, but you're letting no business happening, and you're maybe even asking for business. So do you want, we either can role play it, or you can explain it to us?
Well, I can. So every kid, the biggest challenge I think is that, well, for me, and probably all of us too, like, I'm not real like super script guy. I'm just showing up where people are at. And I think through the natural conversations is everybody that you're having with your database, people that appreciate you right now are asking you how you're doing. Like they're curious. Everybody just wants to know. Like I'm really curious on how people's jobs are doing and what's going on in their world. So people relate that to us, and then it just naturally flows into a real estate conversation. I'm not really trying to ask for business for people right now that are in my database. I'm letting them know that we're around, and if something triggers an opportunity to ask, I think right now a big thing too is that if you are in a position where you're trying to churn the pot a little bit more, is just letting them know, like, especially your really good clients, like, right now it's, a lot of people are not making moves. Like there's definitely more listings that are, not as many listings that are coming on, more that are selling, but overall volume and activity wise, we're down. So like, who do you know? Is there anybody that that I might be able to talk to? Like, I really need your help right now. Because just like any other small business, like I'm a small business too. And, my job is selling homes, and I'm just really looking to see if there's anybody out there that you might know. And that's appropriate for some conversations. It isn't for others. Like everybody can pick and choose on what's going to work good for them. But asking for help with the people that really know you, love you, trust you. Because for some of us, like we really need that right now. We need those names and numbers and people to reach out to. And two, there's some people that are just going to be in a tough place that are going to need our help. When the last crash was based on our industry, it was constantly like, counseling clients on, what do you do? Thankfully, home values are not dropping. So, we're going to be looking pretty good. But does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think big thing you said, not only this time, but another couple of times you and I have talked, Jon is very clear. He always wants to meet people where they are. Yeah. In other words, depending where they are in their lives, their jobs, financially, he's connecting them with where they are and moving them forward. When you look at supply and demand, again, last week in the multiple, if you had 2,273 pending and only 1,041 new listings, we have twice as many sales as pendings last week. So there's a shortage of inventory. That's why there's some multiple offers on certain price range and neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. I think some of us have to get a little bit more into, you don't have to, if you don't want to ask, that's up to you. They have to know activity is happening. People are buying or selling. Some of them think we're hunkered down, that we're not a species that can be out there. Mm-hmm. So we just have to educate them. So I think serve is good, educate and somewhat sell or present, but the education is part of it. So how do you keep your discipline, and how do you keep your self-discipline, staying at home, and what keeps you motivated moving forward every day?
Well, I think a lot of it is, we're in a leadership role. So for me, like I need to show up really, really big every day. Anybody who's on this call who has a team, everybody's looking at you. So if you're not showing up every day, if you're not wearing a suit, if you're not timely for your calls, if you're not leading by example, making all your outbounds, bringing in leads, putting deals on the board, your team's not going to do that. And now more than ever, we have to be able to show them that this is all very doable. Yes, it's different. Yes, you have to make more phone calls than before. Yes, you have to work harder at, getting uncomfortable, right? You're going to do stuff that maybe you don't really want to do, but it's okay. This is what we signed up for. So for me, like if I don't show up and play big every day, then my team is going to be operating at a completely different level, and not the level that I want. It's hard enough right now to keep everybody engaged, working remotely and things like that. So, for us, we have to be operating at 110, 120% every day. Right now, I'm feel like I'm working more than I did the first quarter because I have to. Like, you have to be out there more. You have to be engaged more, and stirring the pot as much as you possibly can. So for me, it's being that leader is the big part for me personally. And I think for other folks that don't have a team, well, you do. It's your family, right? It's other people that are looking up to you. So, your family, if you're working from home, will respect you differently as well, is if you show up and do the same thing every single day, right? So, I think that there's things and tactics that you can take away from our work practice that really rolls over right into the family side of things. Now, as everybody knows in this call, like Hope and I, we have no kids. We have 2 dogs. Our life is not as hard. I get it. I totally get it. I've always been in awe of folks who have kids and are juggling so many different plates and doing this career because it is already incredibly demanding. So I understand that, and I'm not saying that I know exactly how that is, but just in general, I feel like it's a good approach to have. So.
Yeah, I think a lot of you at home who have children at home, I think you took you guys a few weeks to realize it was okay to blow up your schedule and allow time for your children because they were going through it too. Now they're not going to school or preschool. So everyone had to blow up their schedule, get used to new normals. And some of you I know work an hour and a half in time with your kids and come back another hour and a half. So everybody's had to kind of find our own zone and realize it's okay. Everything's okay for different people. I'm here just with my wife. It's all good. So everyone's just kind of figuring out their new normals, and the new normals keep evolving. So Jon, you coach all day Thursdays for the Core, and people are paying you big bucks, almost $4,000 a month for coaching, right? Pay the Core that for coaching. So why don't you give us an idea? How many people do you coach?
I have 12 students all across the United States right now.
All across the United States, and I think you have one in New York or something like that. So you're getting a good idea of what people are going through with this virus across the country. But what are some of the challenges that you've seen them going through? What are some of the places they're stuck? What are you seeing out there? What are some of the solutions you're giving them?
Yeah. So the one thing that's interesting about our industry is that we kind of all have the same stuff. It's really funny. It's like, we all got database issues, right? Our numbers, everybody needs to tighten up their stuff. Everybody has a tough time with their scheduling. Now every state is different with regards to like what you can and can't do. Like that's the biggest challenge. I have a student right now in New York where she's like, I'm really they fine you if you get caught prospecting for business. Like it's really intense. So you have to be able to say, okay, like what can I do and what needs to get done that maybe, that needs to get done sometime this year. So I think a lot of it is, you see some people that are time blocking CE to get done right now because you have a little bit of extra time to get ahead of these certain things. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you got to stay accountable to filling out your forms, right? To filling out your greatness tracker and whatever that is for each person. But it's continuing to make your theme day calls every day, right? It's stirring the pot. It's finding the people that need our help. You just have to continue to be committed to a plan over and over and over again. And when you get assigned different homework to do certain things, you have to get work done. That's the biggest challenge for us in our industry is that if we don't have a boss, right? Like ultimately, like we have a ton of great leaders. Like Sol, you've been a leader for me and a mentor for 16 years, right? But ultimately at the end of the day, like, if I don't make my calls, you're not going to fire me. So we have to look at ourselves as how do we stay super duper accountable to our own personal goals, whatever those are. So with all my students, it's okay. What are you committed to over the next 2 weeks besides all the stuff that you're already doing? right now it goes without saying, like you got to, through our isolation marketing, it's 100 phone calls, 20 personal notes, and 1,000 videos. You got to be doing this stuff over and over and over again.
Let's slow it down. Slow it down. So 100 talk tos a week.
Yeah.
And then what's the next one?
20 personal notes.
Right.
Handwritten notes, right?
And how do I do 1,000 videos a week?
So 1,000 views to videos.
Views.
Yeah. Yeah. 1,000 views minimum. So you can do a couple videos, get it to different people, right? Like everybody has their database list. Like for me personally, I'm doing Tuesday update videos on market stats every single week right now, because it's really important that people know that activity is happening and it's changing week over week. Like it's getting more and more competitive every single week. And it's funny because we are like always looked at the experts, but like I couldn't tell you another time where I like every single week I looked at the numbers to see like what was going on. So, you know, and right now I feel like this is habits that we're creating right now are going to be lasting forever, right? So for me, I'm going to do a video every single Tuesday for the rest of my real estate career, like everybody else should be doing on this call. You should pick a day every single week that you do a video. Right now, it's really important to talk about the stats, but at other times, you might need to put in other things. But you know, that's what I'm excited about. This has really challenged myself and my team to be able to get better at certain things.
Oh, one thing I've always loved about you, you're very simple. Keep it super simple. You keep things simple. You always high accountability and you get shit done. Get things done, right?
Yes.
So why don't we take a minute right now and can you show us the video you did today?
Yeah. So I just did this morning, like at 8:30. So I take a snapshot of the market every single Tuesday morning. Let me see if I can.
This is a video everybody can do because it comes right out of the multiple, right, John?
Everybody can do this. I'm going to see.
And if anybody wants to ask any questions about anything, go ahead and you can start asking the questions or typing them in and we'll answer them here in a little while. Any topic, anything. We've got a lot of good people on this call that we can handle almost any questions that come our way, but you can start asking any questions you want. John, you got
a tip before I show you the video is do something that's going to make people want to open it up. So I've learned over time a couple of things with videos, just a few tips before I show this video. Number one, write this down, all 82 people on this call. Number one, never, ever, ever, under any circumstances, watch the video before you send it. Just send the darn video, okay? Number two, don't just look in the camera like this and then start talking, because it screenshots you looking like you got the RBF going for all you youngsters on the call, right? So you got to smile before you start, which is huge, okay? And or do something funny to get people engaged. So I'm gonna share my screen, and then you can see like why some people might want to click this video just because it's corny. All right, I'm gonna share the sound to see if I can do this.
Nick Jerusalem says he uses his kid, that kid gets a lot of juice out of that in a video.
Yeah. All right. So let's see if this works. You guys see my screen here?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see this.
Just got to push play.
What's going on, everybody? It is Tuesday again. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm getting into the routine a little bit right now. It doesn't seem nearly as awkward as did 30 days ago, as there was so much uncertainty. Still a lot of uncertainty out there in the world, but definitely I feel like we're making some great progress. So I wanted to show everybody some updated real estate numbers today, which continue to get tighter and tighter and tighter. Like nothing is changing. It's just getting more intense week over week, which is very, very interesting. So I wanted to report these to you fresh, hot off the press.
The audio's working, John, but we're not seeing the video.
A number that we do not see to look at week over week. No. People continue. Can you guys not see it?
Well,
is it froze over here? Are you seeing my face, my weird face?
We can see the beginning of the video. We can see your face, but when you hit play, the video doesn't move.
Okay, let's try this. All right. You're going to make me watch it again. What's going on, everybody? It is Tuesday again. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm getting into the routine a little bit right now. It doesn't seem nearly as awkward as did 30 days ago, as there was so much uncertainty. Still a lot of uncertainty out there in the world, but definitely I feel like we're making some great progress. So wanted to shoot everybody some updated real estate numbers today, which continue to get tighter and tighter and tighter. Like nothing is changing. It's just getting more intense week over week, which is very, very interesting. So I wanted to report these to you fresh, hot off the press. So new listings, a number that we continue to look at week over week. Are people continually putting their home on the market? And if so, is it more? Is it less? This is a snapshot into kind of what's going on behind the scenes. And we are less week over week. 907 new listings. King, Pierce, and Snohomish County. This is single family resales. So the inventory is getting tighter. So the next question that we always ask, well, how many homes are selling, John? Is there more or less homes selling? Are people buying these homes? What's going on? Oh my gosh, they are, and in a vengeance here. So we're at 1,725 listings that went under contract in that same time frame. So that's 80 less homes for sale and 173 more homes going under contract. So again, we're getting tighter and tighter. Prices are staying firm. It's taking a little bit longer for some of these homes to sell for sure. You know, if you're pricing at the, that higher price point, the, fair market value, or maybe a little bit above, looking for that right person that's going to fit, it takes a little bit more time. The ones that are going to aggressive price point, you're getting multiple offers on these puppies. So there's definitely a ton of demand out there. If you got questions specifically about your scenario, please reach out. Be honored to be able to have a quick conversation and see if this might be a good time for you to make some moves. But right now, the real estate market is very, very healthy here locally. Let's continue to keep that top of mind as we move forward in these challenging times. So have an amazing day, a blessed week, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye. All right, so that's it.
That's great. So do you send that out through email, Facebook? How do you get it out to the world?
So it goes through e-news, so through Marty's stuff. So we send that out every single Tuesday. We might have some other stuff that's in there. Like right now we're doing these portraits, which is kind of cool that I can talk about a little bit. So we do that, and then we put it on Facebook. And I think it might go on LinkedIn as well. I'm not really sure.
Okay.
But I got to get on Instagram, but I got to do different video, and I like to keep it super simple, and that's just another step that I haven't got into. But, I don't watch the videos. I just do it. I send it. It's done. Like, that's the first time I've watched that video. I still don't like watching it. So,
so why don't you talk to us about, because you said you're talking about the portrait thing here in a minute.
Yeah.
The other question I want to ask you, right now, I'm somewhat on a budget. Right, so I don't have Jon Bye money, right? I'm somewhat on a budget. What do I need to be doubling down on, and where should I double down on, and why, and on as far as marketing or whatever? And tell me a little bit about your portrait thing you're talking about.
Yeah. So with regards to what you should be doubling down on, right now there's so many things that are that don't cost any money. Or little money. So phone calls, they don't cost any money. It's free, right? It takes your time, but you got to do them. The videos, it doesn't cost any money, right? Like put it online. It doesn't cost any money. So those are things that you have to continue to have a plan on. So blocking it to where it's every week that you're doing videos. You should be probably doing 2 to 3 a week right now. Obviously not with a market update, but you should be doing 1 of those a week. Then like posting activity on a property, having you out doing something that's unique. Show people that you're engaged. It's really important right now to let people know and show up where they're at, right? So tons of people are online now more than ever. So we're doubling down on that. The phone calls, more people are around right now. So you're getting way more talk tos. It's just easier to get out there and make it happen, right? So it's to have those conversations, to get it done. Super important. Zoom meetings, right? Like the meetings that we're having right now. People are starting to get used to this stuff. It's crazy, but it's a thing, and it's going to be a thing probably for a long time. So it's every week it's saying, hey, how many people do I want to meet with on a platform like this? We've been doing virtual happy hours, my sales guys and myself, twice a month right now.
Why don't you talk to us a little bit about that? Virtual happy hours.
Yeah, so we get on for an hour. We send out some questions before. I moderate it, kind of like what you're doing right now, and I just go around and ask, and I just pull people out, or we ask questions, and it's an hour. And go figure, there's like a bunch of people that got on. Like at first I'm like, we should just try this and see what happens. And it might just be Alex, Simon, and Noah and me just, BSing for an hour. But I'm like, hey, whatever. Like we'll throw it out there, see what happens. think the first time we had like 18 people join. Last week we had 16. Next month we're going to have some special guests. So we're going to have somebody come in like an expert, more like interviewing experts. We're going to have a CPA, and then Aaron Schmookler, who does at the Yes Works, who does a lot of like team building stuff. So that's just been another reason to get out there and engage with a lot of people. You know, there's a lot of like-minded people out there right now that are looking for interaction on how to get better and being around the right people to, you know, power through this as quickly as we can, but having some accountability around it, and, you know, answering some questions. So that's been fun. We're going to continue to do that all through the month of May, because more than likely, unfortunately, we're probably not going to be able to go to any restaurants anytime soon. So we're just assuming that it's probably going to be another month, you know, with doing that. So I'm round robin, so Alex is going to host the next one, then Simon, and then Noah will get to the last one if we have another one. But I really hope not, because that'd be like 6 weeks from now, and man, I really need to sit at a bar somewhere and have a beer with my wife. This needs to happen soon.
What kind of questions did you send them so they were prepared, that you talked about on your happy hour?
So a lot of it is, you know, let me go back and kind of think about some stuff. You know, one thing's like, what are you doing that's unique to engage with your clients? Also within your industry, like where's their opportunity? You know, I think right now, a lot of people is like, you got to look at where you can capitalize and get better. You know, there's so many people that are just sitting on their hands and not wanting to make moves. It's like, no, like, all right, what's the niche that I can go after? How can I tackle something? So it's been fun and unique to get other business owners' perspectives on that. You know, trying to share some wins and, you know, what you're going through. Oh, Alec put up here, what guidelines are you seeing change within your industry? That's a question that Alec came up with, because there is different stuff that's happening all over that we just don't know. And it's good to know, you know, obviously we're close in line with like things that are happening in the mortgage world, but you know, like with forbearance and jumbos going, you know, doing all the stuff, the crazy stuff that they're doing. You know, so we want to be prepared when our clients ask us just a little bit. Like, I don't want to be an expert, because I'm sure not the mortgage man, and I sure am never going to be that person that says don't make your payment. Like, that is not going to be, I'm not going to be that guy. So, you know, but nowhere to direct the traffic, right? If somebody has questions. So that's a big thing that we're doing, and we've seen, and it's been real fun. You know, it's people that we usually get to interact with face to face, and now showing up in this platform has been pretty cool.
So kind of give us an idea what you're doing as far as your portrait thing you're going to do, and any gifting you're doing also. Just kind of give us an idea what you're doing.
So we've had, last week I was chatting with some of my students, and people are starting to do gifting and drop stuff off, and everybody's had like all these like really awesome ideas. So, you know, our first thing was, all right, we should do like movie baskets, like drop off like a movie pack to our clients, which is a great idea. You know, with like movie candies in there. They're already like pre-packaged in there, and popcorn, and like a Redbox gift cert or something like that. Like, you can think of all these really fun ideas. We were thinking about too, like maybe like a plant for May Day, drop off at everybody's house. And then I got an email from my concierge that had this portraits thing. And I was like, well, I'm like looking at it, I'm like, that's kind of cool. You know, have a photographer drive around and have people take pictures like from their porch. You know, it's like their family like portrait. Obviously we're not getting all, you know, doing the social distancing thing and all that and getting it scheduled. So that kind of clicked. One of our awesome team members, Jesse, is really good at taking pictures, and we got a nice camera. So, you know, right now we're looking for ways to be creative with our time and what we can do and how we can be impactful. And sometimes at a fun level, right? To be able to get out there and do something unique. That's also, we're always looking for stuff that has staying power in all of our gifting that we do, to try to have something that just doesn't get chucked, right? You know, gift cards are nice, but they're really, once you open it up, the gift card goes in the wallet, or the gift card gets used, you forget kind of how you got that gift card or what it was for. But if you have this picture that's on your wall, this portrait that was taken during hopefully the only time you were ever going to be quarantined in your house ever again in our lifetime, right? Like, that's a story, that's something that somebody remembers. So, you know, for us, we want to be able to use those opportunities to post those online if we have consent from the client. Also, we can email them the photo, but what we're going to do afterwards, we're actually going to send them like a framed picture of that to keep in their house. So, and not everybody wants it, right? But the thing is that what we've learned over time, it's not how many people raise their hand and say yes, it's how many people see that you're doing something different and they appreciate that. Some people are not going to want to have their picture taken. I completely get it. That's totally cool. But if they think, wow, that's like a really cute idea or a neat idea, or that's super nice, like that's what we're going for.
So Robin asks, how are you asking people if they want the front porch history shot?
The front porch history shot.
I mean the portrait, Robin?
I'm not sure what that.
Yes. How are you asking them if they want the portrait?
Online. So we sent out an e-newsletter that went to everybody. So there's a bunch of stuff on there. Social media doing the same thing. And then right now there's a post every single day going out because we're doing it from Thursday to Sunday this week. So it's just, it's essentially just a little mini campaign, right? It's a little mini marketing campaign. You hit the nose on the head earlier. It's like, right now, what we'd be planning for is our community day in the parks. We do a big barbecue. We make these blessing bags for the homeless, but we're not doing that. Realistically, like, I don't think everybody's going to go be able to hang out the first week of June at Coolon Park. Like, it's just not going to happen. So, like, we have to figure out other ways, creative ways to get in front of our people and try to bring value.
Okay, that's cool. Cool. So why don't we do a role play? I'll be in your database.
Okay.
And you're just calling me as because most of your calls are on the phone, not Zoom, right? Most of your everyday calls, your 2-hour calls.
Yeah. No, just on the phone.
Okay, let's just do a call.
Yeah. So you just want like just a check-in call?
Yeah. Okay. We haven't talked how often do you try to talk to your database?
How often do I try to talk to them, or how often do I talk to them, Sol? I feel like that's a fair question.
How often do you talk to them?
Yeah. I would say like once or twice a year is the goal, right? Now, that doesn't happen with everybody.
Okay, so we haven't talked in 6 months.
Okay, cool. Ring.
Hello?
Is this Sol?
Yes.
Sol, Jon Bye, your long-lost realtor. What's going on, my man?
Hey, John, how you doing? We're just hanging out here, the family just hanging out.
Dude, that's awesome. You guys healthy, safe?
Thank God, yeah, we're all good and safe and just getting sick of each other, but it's all good.
I know, man, it's been crazy. I'm learning all sorts of new stuff, and I haven't had an opportunity to reach out to you in a while. It's just been, our real estate market's been crazy, and I hate that it takes a quarantine to be able for me to get a couple extra minutes to give you a call. But man, I'm super thrilled that you're doing well and things are moving and shaking in your world. How's work going?
Well, I'll know more in a while, but right now I'm getting paid, and I'm getting paid to stay home. So now, so far so good.
Nice, good deal. What's your plans once this all goes back to normal?
Well, my plan is to go back to work and get the kids back to school, hopefully this year, sometime September, and get on with life. That's our plan.
Yeah, I know it's been interesting. We've been trying to sit down, hoping I put something on the books, but it's just so challenging when we don't know what's going to happen. So, we're just really fortunate that we've had the opportunity to continue to work here. Have you seen any signs going up in your neighborhood lately?
I don't see any signs. Is there any? Could you guys even is there any real estate happening out there?
Man, you'd be surprised. It's much more than you would think with all the stuff that's going on in the world right now. This first quarter this year was just turning out to be actually like gangbusters, more activity and more hot sellers market than we've probably seen in the last 3 or 4 years. But, as obviously just the brakes kind of got pumped on everything. But with that being said, it is still moving and shaking right now, which is pretty darn cool.
Wow, I would never have thought of that. That's for sure.
Yeah, most people are not really paying attention to that right now. But we're grateful. We're out there. We're working hard, and everybody has a different outlook on what's going on right now. So we're just showing up where people are at and seeing if there's things that ways that we can help get them from point A to point B. So I'm sure you still talk to people, or earlier this year, folks were talking about making that, doing that downsize, or, getting that promotion at work and making a move. I'm sure you were hearing that at the office, right?
Oh, yeah, that's kind of everyday conversation, but I don't think people realize anything's going on out there.
Yeah.
I sure did. I thought people were just all home doing nothing.
Yeah. Well, it definitely looks different, and I'm working hard every single day trying to make an impact. So,
where do you think the real estate market's going, John, in the months ahead?
Well, I did pull out my crystal ball last week, and it gave me the question mark. So, you never really know what's going to happen. But one thing that we know for sure right now is I've been taking a look at the stats week over week and doing updates. You might have seen some stuff on the internet, things like that. But right now, we are selling more homes that are coming on the market. This continues to be a trend week over week. So, some of our folks are talking about, well, like, I'm just going to wait to get the best deal. Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. That move up into the neighborhood that you were fighting to get into maybe a year or two ago because there's too many offers, those opportunities are great right now. And we're seeing a lot of folks right now, instead of refining, looking at making a move to that dream house just because they can get their contingent offer accepted. There's not as many multiple offers on stuff in certain price points. So there's definitely a lot of wins there.
Wow, I didn't have a clue.
Yeah.
So everything's good with you and your wife and everything?
Yeah, man, everything's going fantastic. We're still, happy every day, smiling, cooking a lot more at home, which has been pretty fun. But yeah, no, things are going good. So, my thing would be is just, I know that you're probably out there, seeing stuff that's going on, but us as a small business, like the next couple months are going to be tough for us too. So if you know anybody out there that's looking to make some real estate moves, would love to continue to stay on your mind.
Well, it's good to know. Like I said, I didn't even know you guys could go do anything or people were buying or selling, but if I hear of anybody, I'd be more than glad to give you a call, John.
Yeah, for sure, man. Just shoot us a 3-way text, man, and I'll pick up the ball and run with it.
Hey, thanks for the text. I really appreciate it.
Hey, for sure, man. Have a great day.
Take care. So you make about how many calls a day?
Yeah, so right now, outbound's like 20 outbound calls a day is pretty average.
Right.
You're not getting, the goal is to get, 12 to 15 talk tos a day. Some days are more. Like today, I'm going to call every single client that's under contract and every single listing. So Tuesdays and Mondays and Wednesdays are big calling days, and then database days. So you just got to keep going. You time block it, and when it says go, you go. And
talk to me a little bit about, you've said to me a few times today, of course, and in times we've talked, it's critical that everybody goes back to their old leads as far back as they can go. Mm-hmm. What have you found in doing that?
Well, one is that when we're busy, we focus on like the last couple months, right? On people that continue to stay top of mind. But as the months go on, people just roll off, and people that are more active and want to make a move go to the top of the list. And you find yourself kind of I don't want to say alienating, because that's probably the wrong word, but you're just not giving them as much love. Right. Well, right now you have those opportunities to go back and start loving on those people again. So for us, if we haven't talked to the person or we haven't done anything for them for 6 months, like we count those person as a new lead, because you've essentially like breathed life into those people. So for me, I have on my lead tracker, it goes back on my online version one, about 1.5 years. So I'll go down and I'll just start at the bottom and I'll just work my way to the top. And what you'll find is people are grateful for the call. A lot of people are still looking to make moves. And through that, it's the permission marketing. It's like, hey, I don't know if now's the right time, but you'll get some information out of them and be able to say, hey, is it okay if I follow up with you on X date or in a couple of weeks or a couple months? And then now re-engaging and putting that appointment in your calendar, making sure that you follow up with them at that point in time. So, it's like, it's hard to drum up new people right now because you're not doing the same activities. You're not doing as much face-to-face with your business professionals. You're not face-to-face with as many of your clients to get those current client referrals. You're not doing client events or calling as much right now because to your database for the event call, because you're not having the event right now. So it's take those opportunities for the people that raise their hand at some point in time to try to see if you can stir that pot. Because those are an easier business conversation because you've already talked shop before, right? They ask for your help. So it's easier to go in with like, hey, is that still on your mind? Are you still thinking about selling? Are you still thinking about buying? We were talking 6 months ago. I know the world's a lot different right now, but I just want to make sure that I'm not dropping the ball on you.
So what kind of helpful hints can you give to newer agents and even buyer agents who are used to picking up a lot of their business at open houses, door knocking? What are some of the things you would be doing now if you were a newer agent, didn't have a lot of database, all that? What are some of the things helpful hints you can give us in that realm?
We talk about videos being free, calls being free, stuff like that. What we're doing right now is it's a mass blast, like the video that I just played for you, that just goes out to everybody. if I had smaller databases and if my past client list was smaller, I would be doing individually personalized videos to each one of your clients. Because where they really hit home is when it's like, hey, Sol, I was just thinking about you the other day and I was looking around your neighborhood and there's nothing for sale. Like, you curious on what's going on? Because you might be surprised, right? So there's some other things that you can do to try to capture that and have that land a little bit better. So I would for sure be doing more personalized one-on-one videos because, again, you got time, people. Like, just, utilize that time to get that done. Again, the challenge too is that with the phone calls, if you have a smaller database, like, you can't, like, if you got 200 people, like, you can't be blowing everybody up twice a week trying to, stir that pot. Like, that gets old over time. So I would look at trying to do some type of like community campaign to call for a different reason. Try to do like support your food bank or something like that. Do donation pickup days, call them and say, hey, I'm driving around, everywhere, just picking up food. You can leave it on the porch. Different reasons to make those calls and engage. But I feel like at the beginning of all this, it was really like, how can we give back and help, right? Like, it was like 2 weeks of just like help, 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 help is really around that. Now, as we kind of get through things a little bit more, it's more of work. People are seeing that, you can see it in the numbers, like people are out buying and selling more homes, like that is continually happening. It's moving forward into that direction. So I think the conversation can get geared more towards work the further we get through this and the closer we get to some type of reopening. Because now I think more people are open to that conversation than they were at the beginning.
And like you said, the numbers aren't lying. We're seeing the sales happen all over the place. Therefore, you have listings selling. We just aren't replenishing. So if we're not having that discussion, then somebody else is, or they're going to find somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Now, market updates. How do you send market updates, value updates to your database? If so, how do you do it?
So right now we're going through and everybody's getting put into buy side. So I think we have like 180 people in there so far. So everybody behind the scenes is helping put their people in there. That's been like it's just such an easy tool and it has so much value that's in there. And again, it's free, people, right? It's free, F-R-E-E. Like, we got to utilize that to our advantage to get it done. So that's what we're doing for values. Then we're doing year reviews. So everybody gets a more like formal kind of letter and some stuff for their anniversary call every year.
So you do that on the anniversary of their sale.
Yeah.
Right. Get on that. So as far as John L. Scott tools, you're using buy side. You guys use anything else at this point? Market updates or anything like that?
We've tried to utilize, if for some reason, the one thing that we found in buy side is that not everybody's address gets picked up. Like some condos can be some challenges, and sometimes it's just kind of quirky. So if they don't, if we're not able to do that, then we try to put them into the market insight platform. But we do so much stuff that's off. You got to be a little cautious that you're not going crazy overwhelm mode with all the different types of campaigns. So so that's the only one that we're using right now.
So let's talk about how do I become a VIP? You have a VIP plan and a birthday plan and an anniversary plan. Talk about your programs, birthday and anniversary, I understand. Talk about your VIP, how I become one, but then how do you treat me in each category? What do you do?
So for our VIPs, like majority of those are all business professionals. So they're other business owners, and we're doing 2 happy hours a month with those people, and we're going deep, right? So they get like a cool birthday gift. I try to go out and golf as much as I can with the ones that like to golf, try to get them out, doing meetings within those groups to try to bring value to all those people individually. So to be a VIP, there's like, you can they have to have the ability to be able to refer you a solid book of business. So, they're in real estate conversations a lot, or they have a need for us a lot. So that's why we call them on Mondays, because they're usually movers and shakers. They've more than people that have been out and potentially have ran into somebody. And they just appreciate that more of the business type functionality of the relationship. It's not that they're not real personal either, but there's more business talk than personal talk with the majority of them. but a lot of them I've become like really, really good friends with as well over time. So, but again, with us, there's only so many relationships you can have. And I think for all of us, we need to realize that what's your number? Like, how many people can you really go deep with? Because doing this now for 16 or 17 years or whatever, like there's so many past clients now that you can't be in a relationship with like 1,000 people. It just doesn't work. So I think what a big challenge is with people that have had longer careers is that you can't be the same for everybody all the time. There's just too many people. Like we've had this amazing opportunity to help a lot of people. So you have to really identify, okay, it's like, and usually your number is about 400. I guess about it. Like you can't really go more than 400 people. And I would say that would include your VIP as well. Not saying that you don't want to like not call those people or not market to them and all that kind of stuff, but to really try to be super duper engaged, that's about your max to where you can, you can sit down and know what's going on in their world and show up at a big level. So you just don't want to go too thin with your relationship.
Oh, and to let everybody know, in yesterday's world, you did VIP events. You did client events at the ice rink and all that kind of stuff. So you did do a lot of events for your database who aren't business people. Right?
Totally. Yeah. So they're just different platforms. So like we do like business, like VIP ones that are more focused with that group that'll be like individually. And then we do big, like open to everybody events as well. So, all sorts of different types of things, we've done. Now we've really looked at trying to support like individual people within our VIPs at a higher level. So, we like team up, like we've done some suite nights where it's just like one company and we do like really go for their whole company to try to build a better relationship, not just with that one person, but with the entire group. So it's, being mindful and about, we want them to all feel comfortable with reaching out to us and maybe not just that one person.
So when he says the sweet people, sweet, that's not bakery sweets, that's at the hockey room.
No, I get the hockey.
So what do you do for birthdays and what do you do for the anniversary of the house?
So the anniversary of the house, they just get, there's a formal letter that goes out. It has some more information on there, and then we get triggered as a calendar invite to reach out to go through and, check in, see if it's like a congratulations letter, and then see if they want to go more in depth on what's going on with their house. Everybody's like the easiest thing. I've been doing it for years. For everybody on their birthday, they get a personal note and a $1 scratcher. Like I send 30, like probably 15 to 20 of those a week. And that's just super, super easy. And then for VIPs, we usually get like a block of something cool every year to try to do something personal that gets like mailed to them or dropped off. So I've done like journals. What else have we done? That was the last one that I remember that we've done. We've done all sorts of stuff, but that's the only thing I can remember right now.
So what, in your coaching clients, right? What are some of the things that, if you look at the last couple of weeks, what are some of the things that have really, the tipping point where now that you think they've turned the corner? What had to happen with them? What did you do? What did they do? What's happened here? Maybe I know that we've been in the virus an extra couple of weeks helps.
Yeah.
But what's happened here, or what have you seen in your 12 coaching clients?
Well, I see now that I think with all of us is that it's people have the shock and awe is over. We've now been operating and with whatever your life has been operating now in this platform or setting for quite a while. They talk about like takes is it 21 days like repetitiveness to like create a habit or whatever. Well, we've been doing this now past 3 weeks, so it's like, okay, people kind of know what to expect. They know how crazy their kids are going to be. They know when they got to take a break or whatever that is. So you can now work around that to be able to create that schedule that works for you to be able to accomplish the goals that you need to. And everybody gets there a little bit differently. Like I have a number of students in Colorado, and it's like their stuff was like they couldn't show property, then they could, and they couldn't, then they could. Like they kept flip-flopping back and forth. So it's like really hard to set any like guidelines or goals around anything because things were continually changing. But for everybody, it really just boils down to having the accountability, because you got to say you're going to do something, and you got to have somebody make you do it. Ultimately, whether that's your coach or whether that's you, Sol, or whether that's your wife or your husband or your kids or whatever it is, you got to commit that you're going to do something to somebody so that you can keep on that path. And that's where everybody's doing a good job, is now they're like, okay, I know what I can do. This is what I can commit to getting done. And it's actually taking place.
How do you think accountability has helped you the most in the past years? Because you've had coaches. I used to hold you accountable in the early days. We go through each buyer and seller.
Yeah.
How do you think that's helped you the most? Accountability.
It's everything. Really, it's incredibly hard to be involved in this industry without having any accountability. It's all of our opportunities, all of our success, everything is boiled down to the accountability factor. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, like, I would much rather just go hang out with Hope all day and fart around. Like, that sounds amazing, but we can't do that, right? Like, we've made a higher level commitment to show up in a really big way to help others and lead by example. So that doesn't allow us to fart around and just hang out, at least all the time. Like, for sure, you got to have downtime, but you got to play big all the time. And that has it's created a new normal. And once you get here and it gets really hard, and then you get here and now it's normal, then you get to move up the next ladder, and then that's really hard to do that jump, but then that gets a little normal. And so you're just constantly pushing yourself. And unless you're going up, you're going down. Like, there's no like, I'm just going to pause and take a break. You're going down. Like, you're losing momentum, right? We're talking about turning snowflakes into snowballs. Like, it's just, you got to continue to keep packing it on so that it doesn't just disappear on you. Because in this industry, we live for 30, 60, 90 days, next year, right? Like, we're having conversations that are not going to come to fruition for a long time from now. So you got to be engaged all the time and take really, really good notes.
So tomorrow belongs to those who prepare and execute today. So if you know that the next 90 days is go time for you, because let's say May, June, July, August, September, let's say this fall comes and we all have to go back to our houses for a while because of the virus or whatever. I'm just saying, so if you knew you had a strong 3 months ahead of you and you got a go time, would you be doing anything different than you're doing now? Would you double down or triple down anywhere else?
No, I think that you have to realize that there's only so much that you can do. I think a lot of the times we're like, when this gets back to normal, like, I'm going to do all this. No, you're not. You're not. You just got to get back to whatever your normal was. The thing is that, and if you expect that I'm going to make up all this ground from me being at home, you're not. And if you put that type of pressure on yourself, it's going to be hard. If you put that pressure on yourself, your family, your team, like, you got to realize that if you get back to this and you're normal, you're doing 10% more than you were this time last year, that is okay. Like, don't try to be like, I'm going to do 50% or 100% more. Because our teams aren't built for that. Like, we know our number. We can only seat so many people. It's like, okay, if I had, I can help 5 families, but 15 come to me, like, I'm sorry, but your service is going to be terrible. So what are you putting out there to the world? So, if those people show up, fantastic, right? And you'll figure out a way to make it through there, but don't put unrealistic expectations on what your business is going to look like when we get back to whatever normal is.
So how many hours do you think you're working a day or a week right now, and what days you taking off?
Oh, I'm still working 10 hours a day. Like, that's not going away. But the weekends right now, obviously, I'm not working as much. No work on Sundays, and most of Saturdays are off. So
when I talked to you Saturday, where were you driving to? What city I never heard of before?
That was Friday. Olalla.
Which one?
Olalla. Olalla. Something like that. It's by Gig Harbor. I didn't know. So, yeah.
We're finding new things.
Yeah.
So what would you say are the vital 3 things that you're doing that you know what? I'm doing these things every day and they're really making a change in my life. What are your vital 3?
Yeah. So I would say the first thing is you gotta get started. Right now I think some of my students too, it's like the morning routine is what sets up your entire day. You sleep in an extra hour, like, dude, you're toast. Like, you're already off. You're like, the rest of your day is going to be really, really challenging. So it's wake up and have your morning routine, whatever that is. Continue with it. Like, it's just like you're going to the office. So wake up, exercise, eat breakfast, whatever you're going to do. And then your daily tasks, right? So whatever your goal is every day for calls, videos, notes, Business planning, right now it's getting ready for what's to come. It's getting your notes set up, it's getting your marketing actions in place. So it's time blocking still, even though you might be at home, like you got to have the plan. If you have no roadmap, you will get lost. So, and I don't care if it's like super intricate or not, but I know one thing is having a so-so map is better than having no map, right? You got to have some type of a roadmap. And then 3 is you got to figure out you got to turn it off still. In order to stay charged and work hard at the office, is that you still have to be able to turn it off. Even if you're at home all day, like if you have dinner at 5:30 or 6 o'clock with your family, like you just treat it like any other work day and you just stop working. So I think some people, and we wrestle with this too. It's like you just, we work way too much. Like we're addicted to our work. It's great because we love it, but finding balance in our field is a continuous struggle. And we're always looking just to get a little bit better, and it goes in and out. Sometimes it's good. And then other times it just goes completely out the window. And I think over time, our business flow is kind of the roller coaster, but now it's that kind of gets a little bit evened out. But as we get older in our career, it's like now the real goal is trying to figure out the balance. It's not necessarily like we're going to be able to provide, we're going to keep doing what we do. And I feel like I sort of have that kind of figured out. Not really, it changes every day, but the work-life balance is by far 10 times harder than the business.
What was the goal for you and your team this year? How many transactions did you want to have this year when you started the year?
Our goal is 135.
Okay, you doing anything with it at this point? Are you sticking with 135?
Yeah.
Knowing what you know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you guys stick to the plan of the program, that you're there. So I know that Eliker probably not on the call, and maybe is, or I don't know if he's doing anything different as a buyer agent now to find leads to do that. But the whole thing, guys, right now, everybody on the call, you have to have May goals and plans in the daily routine right now. May is really the first month back. Well, we're back. This is it, right? Mm-hmm. People are ready. The sales are showing. We need listings. You need to get the word out. You need to get the mail out. You need to get your verbiage out, your marketing out. You got to spend some money in May. Let them know things are going on, what's happening out there. Any other last words of wisdom, Mr. Bye, to the group?
I'm good. Are we going to do some Q&A?
Yeah, here in a minute. I just want to make sure. I'm still here. I'm working from home, making sure. Okay, another Q&A you guys have about anything? About any topic with real estate or anything else that he's doing or we're doing or anything about the market? Now would be the time to post. Because okay. Do you have recommended strategies for marketing to potential sellers?
So I think with everybody, you got to look at the activity. If you got specific buyers that are having a hard time finding stuff, you got to get in front of your title company, right? Try to get those emails, those names, those addresses, and start marketing direct to the sellers. You got to be creative right now, and get in front of those people. So that's what I would say is, handwritten notes with a cry for help go a long way. And it works better if you got a picture of the family in there you're trying to help out too. So, you just got to take that extra time if you can.
One thing I got just sold on one of my rentals. It says multiple offers in only 3 days, pending at the price. And it's just a simple card, but it just tells me there's activity.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be nothing phenomenal, but this is just simple and easy to read. And it just says, hey, business is happening out there. There was another one, something about a farm.
Tina had asked, are you mailing to a farm? Yes.
Are you?
Yeah, we're still mailing. Yep.
Okay.
So the best farm.
What are you doing?
So the best farm that you can have is the neighborhood that you live in. I think that if you're not farming in your neighborhood where you actually live, you're missing the boat. Because the best person that can sell your neighborhood is you, because you live there, right? So I don't care if it's 100 homes or 200 homes or 1,000 homes or whatever it is in your neighborhood. But if you're farming, in my opinion, that's where you should be doing it. And we mail once a month, and we have a handwritten letter writing campaign as well that goes on throughout the year.
So do you do just listeds to your
We were doing the just listed, just solds through Bear. We decided that instead of doing the larger group around the homes, that we're doing 25 handwritten personal notes to the closest neighbors instead of doing the postcards themselves.
Okay. So as far as farm, a couple of people that we know that are doing farm, yeah, they're starting. One is definitely mailing. So Josh is mailing to his farm, and so he knows that he's keeping that going on because nobody else is.
Oh, totally. You
So,
gotta keep going.
And Brad's doing the same thing. So John's doing the same thing because most people are pulling back, guys. And May is. I mean, we can tell it's going to be alive and well. Do you have any other questions on your screen?
We had a couple questions come in earlier that I think you guys were talking and got moved away in chat that I managed to save.
All right, let's do it.
Jeff Castro wanted you to repeat your magic pill phone call, the voice message.
Oh, the magic pill, yeah.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing, and however you want to phrase it, you have to ask them. You have to say, "I don't want to bug you anymore. Like I feel like I'm bugging you, and I just want to make sure." So for me, it usually is in a text message. It works really well too. It's just like, "Hey, I'm reaching out again. I know I've called a couple times. I haven't been able to get you. I don't want to keep bugging you. So if you could just let me know one way or another what's going on, I'd super appreciate it." So whatever your spiel is, but I don't want to bug you anymore is like the key piece to that.
It's kind of fun. It's just kind of a fun. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's just like I don't want to be annoying. Just tell me. Like I'm cool. Like
it's all good.
Yeah.
Janet Gibb wants to know what's written on your wall behind you.
Those are just like a bunch of quotes. It's a big whiteboard.
Seamus is wondering how you send that video out to everybody. Is it through email? Do you post it somewhere? How does it get out?
E-News. So it's shot with BombBomb. It's just right in my Outlook. Then it goes out via E-News through Marty, and then we just post it on Facebook. Those are the only two things that we're doing right now.
And Sadie was wondering how many takes it took you to get that video done.
I did one. That's it.
One take always.
Always.
You can do it. You can do it, Sadie.
Yeah. The more interesting, sometimes like I'll be fumbling all over the place. Like the ones that I do for my CMAs are the worst because sometimes they're longer and I'll like have to burp and I'm like, there's no way that I'm like redoing this. So you'll see me go like, and I'll come back to it. Like it's just real. People appreciate you just being you.
And the last question I have here is from Phil Rodiker. He wants to know where you're getting your haircut.
This was actually my wife in the kitchen.
Oh, nice. There you go. That's where mine is too.
Yeah.
Hey, Jon, we want to thank you for everything. It was a great call, sharing like always. And May's going to be a great month. You guys have a good time out there. Yeah. And we got this. Let's do this thing.
I'm excited. See y'all. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.